Come. What up, y'all? Been sitting in the house being lazy, thinking all day about how I should come out and record this video that I've been planning on recording for quite a while, but letting my laziness win for literally the last 2 hours. And I was kind of getting sick of letting the laziness win. Yeah, letting the laziness win. So I checked to see what time sundown was tonight, and I've still got 2 hours left. So I'm gonna take a shot at recording this video, putting together this stove that this tent stove that my Aunt Sonya got for me. I still haven't put it together yet and done its initial burn, so yeah, I'm going to there's actually, the reason I'm hesitant, there's actually a chance I could fail at this. I'm not good at putting stuff together, but hey, we're gonna see what we can do, and if I can get it together, I'm gonna fire it up and maybe cook something on it. So we'll see. Let me find a place to set this camera up and we'll get cracking. All right, let's see if we can do this. There we go. Hey, Axl, go. Axl wants to be the star. All right, well, guess we'll start by getting it out of the box. You know, just try to stay on the spotlight, bub. So everything comes, Axl, move, bub. Go. This way, go. So everything comes packed inside here. Didn't notice that. Okay, cool, the legs just fold out. So that's easy enough. So yeah, like I said, everything's packed in there. The thing I'm curious about, there's no glass in the door, but the chimney pipes and some gloves for the heat. Guessing this is for cleaning. And yeah, everything else is in here. I don't want to put it on the ground for the dogs to just come trampling all over. Probably the glass in there, I'd say. Looks like it. And okay. All right, I'm seeing what's going on here. This is going to be pretty easy. All right, looks like I just figure out which order these go in and stick it on. Yeah, so here's a little rack that stays in there. And oh yeah, guys, this is simple. Looks like that's it. Yeah, that's it. Let's get this, this has got to be for, knocking around in there. Man, that's convenient right there. I bought a hot tent, I don't know, a few months back, but it's still, like I've told y'all before, with all of us working and having families and like Hayden homesteading and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to actually get these trips that we're trying to plan to do. It's actually hard to make them happen. So we haven't got to do the hot tent camping yet, but that's something that's coming. We're hoping to, well, as we get more used to this and learn what we're doing and realizing the type of things that are around us, it'll get easier, so we'll start getting those in eventually. Obviously the hot tent camping is not going to happen now for several months, but we'll be doing that in the late fall and early winter, but maybe throughout the winter, depending on how severe of a winter we have. Hey dogs, hey, quit eating grass, buddy. I know there's lots of it to eat. It won't stop raining out here, and I'll probably mow tomorrow. Probably get some of this stuff cleaned up over the weekend. Yeah, I need to get this grass taken care of, but anyways, yeah, I'm going to get this glass in here and then collect some little wood here and get it fired up. So that's obviously what was going to be in there, but got that right. And it looks like, looky there. You just slide that. Huh. Just slide that in like that. Wow. And this guy's done. Look at this. That's nice. Sonya, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you so much for this. I know it might not seem like a big deal, but it really is to me. Like, I really, really, truly appreciate you doing this for me. I'm going to get out and use this thing, like I said, this late fall and winter, even if I have to do it like somewhere nearby, even if I have to do it, you know what, even if I have to do it right back here, even if I have to set my tent up right here, and do it, I'm gonna do it. So this thing, we will get our use out of it. I may even take it, some of you will be excited about this, I may take it with me too. I may take this and my hot tent with me. We're going to the spring Badfish Festival in Nelsonville, Ohio, y'all. So, or Garrettsville, Ohio, Nelson Ledges in Garrettsville, Ohio. So if y'all like Sublime, if any of you have checked out the Quasi Kings and you're able to make it, it's an awesome experience. I highly, highly, highly recommend you go. Not gonna get much sleep at night, bring earplugs and plenty of stuff to stay warm at night, but man, it's an absolute blast. So, but anyway, we're gonna be there, and I may take this in my hot tent with us just in case. That'd be just enough to keep us warm on, like, my wife and my daughter get really cold, so this would be probably just enough to keep us warm on like a 40 something degree night. Well, I'm gonna go collect some wood, find a little spot to set this up, and give it its first burn. Maybe I'll go in the house and see if I have something I can kind of cook up on it. I didn't expect this to be so quick. I thought it was going to be in pieces and I have to put the whole thing together. That's awesome. But thank you again, Sonya. I love you so much. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, really, there's little pieces of wood all over the driveway even I can just pick up. Get this thing started. Look at this. This is all perfect right here. And honestly, you can probably keep yourself pretty warm just picking up branches, small branches laying around wherever you go, wherever you're camping with this, really. This is like prime pickings because we cut down a bunch of these trees and bushes last summer. At the end of last summer, it's probably more like last fall. So there's still a lot of this little stuff laying around. I feel like that should have come with something, like a knob or something. I don't know. It's still pretty wet. All right. All right, I got plenty of little sticks in there. I'm gonna run in the house and get some fire starter. Just because I don't feel like dicking around with it too much. I just want to get this fire started up and get this thing burning. See, maybe I can sit around it, hang out here tonight a little bit. Maybe this video will be a long one. I thought it was going to be like a short. We'll see what it turns into, but I'm going to get some fire starter. All right, got me a little piece of fire starter here. My American flag Bic lighter. We'll fire this thing up. Move, Axe, move. Yeah, we'll let that fire up, and while that's burning, I'll go collect some bigger pieces of wood. I know I got some falling down back here from these big old trees. Yeah, look at these gems right here. These will keep it burning for a while. Probably don't need more than that, actually. We'll see. If I do, there's plenty more back there. What I don't know is if that flue's open or not. Went in the garage to get this chair to set the camera on, and there's freaking mice turds on the chair. Like, how do these things just get wherever they want to go? Yeah, I needed something to set this camera on so I can do my thing here. So I hope everybody's been having a good week. I definitely have. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary's happened, but it's just been a good week. The smoke is coming out the front. Yeah, that's closed. Smoke was coming out the front. It was for sure closed. Hey, Marley, Axl. Driving the neighbors crazy. This is why when you have the urge or the interest taps you on the shoulder to get up and go out and do something, this is why you do it then, because you don't know if the opportunity is even going to be there even a couple hours later. So I should have got up and did this earlier, because now I'm having to talk over the lawnmower. All right. So yeah, anytime you guys start feeling like an urge to go do something, or a desire, or some type of interest, no matter what it is, try not to put it off, because like you just seen, you never know if the opportunity is going to be there even in an hour. And who knows, I might have got interrupted by something earlier too, but just makes me think. I know I probably need to start using a microphone so you guys can hear me better when I talk, assuming that you enjoy listening to me talk. But I've tried, and what'll happen to me is the battery, or the not the battery, but like it'll disconnect or something, and I'll end up shooting a whole bunch of footage and have no audio to it. Now, I'm not blaming anything except inexperience and my own ignorance for this situation, but it is something I need to figure out so that I can improve the audio on this channel. Because whether you like to listen to me or not, but if you're here, I imagine you do, I do like to talk. I may have to get some more wood than this. I didn't think I was going to have to, but it don't look like this will last too long, so I'm going to go gather some more wood. Couple more big pieces. I don't know, maybe find me a couple more like that and I'll be good. Oh, look here. These feel a little damp, but by the time I need to throw them in there, that fire is going to be getting hot, so I'm not too worried about that. Look at all those gross little bugs that crawled out of those branches. I was about to sit down there on the ground too and break up more. They're everywhere. We can go ahead and let those guys disperse. Yeah. If anybody knows what those are, post in the comment. They're gross. I definitely don't want them crawling on me. These dogs aren't gonna leave the neighbor alone while he's cutting his grass. I mean, Marley keeps getting out of the yard. He doesn't go anywhere, but I don't know what I'm gonna do, because what he does is, we have a cow field back here, which if you watched our East Fork Whitewater River kayaking trip, right over here is the section that we had to bypass because that river cuts through there. But in between us and that tree line, there's a cow field. And I think he likes to get over there and run around with the cows. And I don't have proof, but I'm fairly certain he likes to murder raccoons. So what he ends up doing is he keeps digging holes. You see how we got stuff piled up along the fence there? He keeps digging holes no matter what we do. So I've got to get this fence reinforced to where he can't get out of it. But in the meantime, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to put him on a chain every time I put him outside, and I can't come outside and sit every time he needs to go outside either. But I can't have the police bringing him home or knocking on my door like they did yesterday, or my neighbor bringing him home, which that ain't so bad, but definitely don't want the police doing it. But all right, well, I'm gonna see how I can feel the heat. I can feel the heat off this. I'm sitting about 3 feet away here. I can feel the heat coming off of it, and it just got started, so we'll see how this does. I'm a little concerned about putting it in a tent, because look how much smoke is leaking. So I'm curious about that top right there. I'm gonna have to look into how this works, but I definitely wouldn't just do this overnight without further research, because I do see lots of smoke leaking out. But anyway, let me set this camera back up on this chair. So it's Now it's not leaking the smoke out of up here at all like it was. Looks like it's blowing up through the chimney like it should. Yeah, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. Even just like, if I wanted to come out here and sit down like I'm doing right now and just chill out, keep warm on a cool night without firing up the whole fire pit, this would be perfect for that, because a little bit further away than I just was. I'm probably not much, 3.5 feet away now, but it I can feel the heat coming off of it. And yeah, I've probably just, you know, add 10 minutes on to whatever footage you've seen of me sitting here toying with it so far. That's really all I've cut out. So you're seeing the whole experience. It's getting hot fast and radiating a lot of heat, so when them coals really get going, man, I bet you that thing will keep the hot tent nice and hot. And then maybe not hot, but nice and comfortable. And it's got these little racks on the side you can sit stuff on. That's really nice, man. That's really nice. You can put like a coffee pot, or like we use a French press coffee. We use a French press coffee coffee. You know what I'm talking about, a French press coffee. It'd be perfect. You can just sit it right there and it'll keep it hot for you. I think I probably am going to take this to the Badfish Festival with me. It'll just be convenient. You know, you want to go off and get a little time to yourself, get away from the people for a minute. If you can find a place where there's no people, take this thing back there and fire it up, sit around, keep warm. Yeah, I'm gonna take it with me. So I bet you it's like you know how like when you get a new grill, it has to, and I got a ways to go. I can see some smoke still coming out of the top there. If that's not stuff burning off, that might be burn off actually. But anyway, you know how when you get a new grill, you got to fire it up and let it burn and get sealed up. Like, it takes a few good cookouts before it's nice and gunky enough to really seal up and cook right. I'd imagine this is very similar. Same concept. Axl, 8 years, same neighbor, cutting the same grass on the same lawnmower. Axl still has to just go bananas. Marley is understandable. He's new. He's been in jail all his life. He's got to protect his ground. He knows that. So yeah, a little more understandable with Mar. But Axl, what about you, boy? Why are you still going ham like that on the neighbor? Well, I think most of those bugs are gone, hopefully. But this thing's burning good and hot, man. See if I can get it to where you guys can see it a little better. Yeah, it's probably better. But yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Again, I don't know how many times I'll say it, but I'm so appreciative. Sonya, thank you so much, and I thank you, Lord, for blessing me with a family that looks out for me and supports me and encourages me on my endeavors. Like, I can't thank God enough. And thank you, Sonya, and thank you anybody who watches, contributes in any way, even if that's just watching. Like, I appreciate it. So. Yeah, I'm gonna get my use out of this thing, man. God, it's burning hot. Get a conversation with the guy next door for a minute while this was burning to coals. So we get some more of these logs in here, and I think I'm gonna run over to the dollar store, grab some brats. Now it sounds like I don't need them. I'm hiccuping already. Grab some brats, and I'm gonna cook some brats up out here because I haven't had dinner yet, so why not? I got this fire burning. Definitely gonna have to get some more wood. I'll stick that in there. Ooh, I'm gonna have to remember not to grab that. Yeah, I'll let that fire back up, and I'm gonna run over to the dollar store, which is right there, and get some brats. Like I said, I'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, y'all, I'm back from the dollar store with some jalapeno cheddar brats. These are gonna be delicious. That is not the normal cast iron skillet that I cook with. That's a new antique one that I bought at Fort Ancient little trading post that we visited several months back. There's a video of it posted somewhere. I'll try to link it if I can remember. But I rinsed it out in the house because I've never used it yet, so I'm gonna let that dry out, throw some butter in there, and then I'm gonna throw these freaking brats on there, and it's gonna be the bomb digga. Thing's rolling. Yeah, we'll be cooking here in just a minute. It's almost ridiculous how much fun I'm having just sitting here in my backyard, firing up this stove and getting ready to cook this lunch on it. So that's what sucks. I mean, this is great, but what sucks about having a mind like mine is that I had to sit in my chair in there for 2 hours wanting to do this before I finally got up and did it. Now that's a win, so I'm gonna take it. I believe in celebrating all your wins. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to celebrate that as a win, because a lot of times I wouldn't have got up and just come out here and done this at all. And I know this doesn't seem like any huge feat to probably most people, but for me, it is. Like, I really just sat in there in my chair, not moving a muscle, thinking about what I wanted to be doing, that all I needed to do was just come out back and do it. You see it, there's been nothing to this, and still took me 2 hours. So that's 2 hours wasted that I just did nothing with my life. And I don't know if it's an age. Well, I think it's a lot of things. I think it's age for one, but mostly it's I'm very hyper aware of how much of my life I've already wasted. I was thinking today about how I'm constantly trying to like think back and remember, or like reconstruct a past that I can barely remember. So I'm aware of how much time has already been wasted. So those minutes, those hours, they matter to me. Yeah, they just matter to me, and still I couldn't get myself up to come out and do it, but I did. So I'm going to celebrate that win and stop harping about it. But I want to get that out there, because I know probably lots of people watch not necessarily just my videos, because I don't do anything that outrageous, or at least I haven't yet, but they watch people doing stuff like going out and hiking and kayaking, and they want to do it themselves, and they just can't get themselves up and out the door. So I just wanted to say that so people realize it's hard for me too. It's hard for me too. You know, I got off work at 5 o'clock, thought about this all day. This sits on the shelf right next to me while I'm working. Thought about this all day, and then come 5 o'clock, even told Jalen I was going to do it. And then come 5 o'clock, went and sat on the chair and just couldn't get up. But here I am. So all y'all people that's wired to be lazy, I'm right there with you. I understand. But man, I'm just waiting for that water to dry up in that pan. I don't know, it's getting hot. Then I'll throw some butter in there, and then I'll throw these brats in there. But man, that fire is burning good. The fire is definitely burning good. It's gonna be nice. I can feel that warmth coming off of it all the way over here. So I'll get her closed and Let that wood I just put in there burn down a bit, and then I'll throw these brats on. I'm trying to remember not to put anything on that chair that I'm going to be cooking with because it had mouse poop on it. I probably shouldn't have my phone on there. It's gross. But stuff's been locked up in the garage all winter long. I've had some mouse damage to the styrofoam in my kayaks. There's like something spilled all over the floor in the garage in there that needs to be swept up, and I don't even know what it is or where it could have possibly came from, but it's everywhere. I might go in there and show it to you guys since I've already showed you a bunch of gross stuff. But yeah, I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's peanuts. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't want to get down and look at it. I need to just open the door, sweep it out. But again, I shouldn't say I've been being lazy. I do a lot. I mean, this YouTube channel is taking a lot of effort. Work is mentally taxing, learning a lot of new things. If you've been with me for a minute, you know I just took on a new position at my job, so I'm learning a lot of new things and having to create standard operating procedures for those things as I'm learning them. So it's like man, I feel like I'm moving at a snail's pace because it's a lot to get my head around, and I'm a learn by doer type of person. I think it's called a kinesthetic learner or something like that is the term for it, but I learn by doing, and I'm not getting the opportunity to do so much, but I am having to figure out how things work and put together SOPs. So it's quite the job. It's very mentally taxing. But I think this thing's about ready. I'm gonna get some butter in that pan. Then I'm gonna throw them brats in there and let them cook for a few minutes. And I'm gonna bash, because I'm hungry. I think it's probably about 7, it's probably about 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. It's probably about 8 p.m., so yeah, I'm getting hungry. This is about normal dinner time for me. Yeah, boy, that's gonna be good. Yep, for these cheddar jalapeno brats. Alright, so I brought my grizzly cooler out here to use as a table. Got me some peppers I'm going to throw in that pan. Some spicy mustard. It's all Dollar Stove specials, baby. Got me a couple buns I'm going to toast, and I like to use these cheddar cheese sticks to put on them. That's going to be a delicious dinner for me. As you see, I'm making 6 of these brats, so a couple for Lynn and maybe one more for me later. But yeah, this is the first time I'm using this pan. I was in there, the reason I'm using it is because I couldn't find my cast iron skillet that I take on my hikes and stuff with me. So I've been in there racking my brain, where's it at? And it actually just hit me. It's in my freaking Jeep. It's in my Jeep, and you know why it's in my Jeep? Because I take out hiking and kayaking. So how did I not know that's where it was? I don't know, but I didn't. But yeah, that fire's burning nice. I can feel that heat coming off of it. Those are already starting to look delicious. Yeah, this is awesome. So again, Sonya, thank you again for this. I'm having a good time out here by myself, playing with this stove and cooking me up some food and talking to my YouTube peeps, all because of you. So this episode is sponsored by Sonya, quite literally, actually. So I am a thinker. I think about a lot of things, and Like I'm an overthinker. It's my biggest curse that I actually have done my best to try to draw the blessings out of, but through creativity and ideas, whether it be good or bad, but and then executing on them. But something I'm thinking about a lot today for some reason is just my channel. Well, obvious lots of reasons, but my channel and what I'm doing, because I don't know, and what it means. Like even the name, I've had people ask like, you know, what's so weird about it, and I don't have an answer. Well, I guess I do have an answer for that, and there's a lot of, I don't have one answer for that is the thing. There's lots of reasons why I chose the name The Weirdos Outside. Somebody asked in the comments about it, so yeah, I've been thinking about it. It's been looping through my brain, them asking me that question, so I've got to close that loop by addressing it, I guess. And I did respond to the comment, but it was just kind of a jestful response. But I guess one of the reasons I called the channel The Weirdos Outside is because I've got a pretty large social network around me. I know lots of people. I tell everyone they don't have very many friends, even if they think they do. But I do have a pretty solid group of friends. I ain't gonna lie. But something I've noticed is that, and I don't know how this comes across when I say this out loud to people, but something I've noticed is that there's something, and maybe everybody experiences this, but there's something about like my relationships that I'm able to form with people where it's like there's a sense of comfort where people are really real with me. They're very honest, and I often see a side of people that other people don't see. Like the question, why do you even hang out with that person, is something that I've been asked, I couldn't even tell you how many times throughout my life. And the reason is I usually see something different than other people do. And I think it's because people show me, or they feel safe being vulnerable enough to be them real selves around me. I've been fortunate, I'm blessed enough to have that gift. But anyway, what I've thought about a lot is why aren't they who they are when they're with me? Like, why aren't a lot of these people who they are with me? Why aren't they like that with everybody? Why aren't they like that out in the world? And I think at least part of the answer to that is because there's this illusion of normalcy out there in the world. You know, when you're always comparing yourself to other people, which in, you know, you can kind of boil down to normal people. You're always comparing yourself. So people are afraid that if they show their true selves, it'll be perceived as weird in some way, shape, or form. But the thing that I've realized is we're all weird. Like, nobody's normal. There is no normal. I just said that sense of normalcy is a complete illusion. Everybody that you talk to in life, I don't care if it's your boss at work, your waitress at the IHOP, I don't care who it is, they're weird. Like, there's just weird stuff that they do and that they think about, that they like, that they enjoy. So for me, I think the difference between me and a lot of people is I'm aware of, not that I've always been, I've only really had this level of self-awareness over the last 5 or 6 years, but I'm aware of my weirdness, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. And I don't know that I've ever really been ashamed of it. I just didn't really know how to let it present itself. It's probably more like it. But I think people have always kind of seen that in me, and that's what makes them feel comfortable enough to be weird, their normal weird selves around me. So anyway, we're all weird. Like, we're all weird. We all have weird thoughts in our heads. We all have strange compulsions. We all have weird anxieties and strange phobias and strange things that we enjoy that no one else does, whether it be a song or, you know, a type of music, or like whatever it is. So anyway, then part of the reason the channel is called The Weirdos Outside is because that's a way that I help reinforce my desire to embrace the weirdness of who I am, and just allow that person to be. And then, you know, applying it to the name of the channel, because I'm putting myself out to you know, I know I don't have like a lot of subscribers right now or a lot of viewers, but I have the potential for anyone in the world to like peek into my life now. So it kind of forces me into a position where I have to embrace that. And you know, what I find weird might not be what someone else finds weird, but trust me, there is no normal, and that's the point. There is no normal. Any idea you've got in your head of the old, I always think of the old Nickelodeon shows when I was a kid growing up, like Nick at Night, the Donna Reeds and things like that. There is no normal, man. All these people are weird. So there's one answer. If anyone ever wonders where the name came from, there's one of many answers that I can and probably will give over the however long I am blessed with the opportunity to keep doing this. Because yeah, we're all weird, and I think that we should all embrace it. And it's a self-discipline mechanism in a way for me. So yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense. Hopefully it did. If not, let me know. Let me know if it did. Let me know if it didn't. I'm going to throw some of these peppers on the grill. These brats are about done. I like them burnt like that. They're starting to split. That's how I like them. I'm gonna throw some of these peppers on the grill, toast these buns up a little bit maybe, and get ready to enjoy some delicious dollar stove food on my new stove that Sonya got me that I'm so appreciative of. I'm gonna keep saying it because I really mean it. I'm so appreciative. I thank you so much, Sonya. Yeah, everything is really done. So I'm gonna let it burn a little more. I like charred food a little bit. I don't know what, not even a little bit. I like it a lot. I don't know why. I always have. And for some strange reason, like I've always liked, like I like my I like steak bloody and pissed off, but everything else, pork chops, chicken, French fries, potatoes, whatever, I like it charred. Brussels sprouts, man, I just had some good crispy charred up Brussels sprouts today. Every time I mention that, people are like, I never thought about that being any good, but I'm telling you, it's delicious. If you like Brussels sprouts, try charring them up real good. Cheese. Let me get a couple of these buns off here. Man, them peppers breathing in the steam off of them or whatever. Choking me to death. You know what? I'm going in with my fingers. Not the best idea, but not the worst either. Ooh. Get my spicy mustard on there. All right. There we go. get the other ones off the fire by using these handy dandy heat resistant gloves. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I have officially fired up my hot tent stove, got its first burn in, and done its first cook on it. And now I'm about to enjoy the fruits of my labor. All right. Let's give us a bite of this and see what this tastes like. It's not some secret family recipe or nothing like that. But just the experience of coming out here and doing this, I swear it adds to the flavor in a way you can taste. I'm sure I got mustard all over my face. This really is delicious, guys. Listen, thank you all for hanging with me, checking out this video, listening to me ramble, and yeah, just spending time with me while I set this grill up and cooked it. Sonya, I will thank you again. Had a blast out here tonight by myself. I was just sitting in my recliner, which anybody who knows me knows that I always say the scariest place in the world for me is my recliner. So thank you, Sonya, you got me out of the recliner. I don't know, maybe I'm not done filming yet after all. It's still light out. And this fire is it's still feeling good to sit out here by this fire, so I keep putting more wood in there. So it's still burning. So, I don't know. We'll see. I keep, one of the things that'll keep me from turning this camera on is I start thinking like, oh, I've got to think of something to talk about. I've got to think of something to talk about, but I don't really. I just talk. I'm a natural talker. I just talk. I talk and talk and talk. Anybody who knows me well can tell you I will talk until you're so sick of hearing people talk. You won't call me for like 6 months. So I don't know why I struggle with that, but it just has, it's the awkwardness of just doing this, really. I still haven't gotten to where it feels second nature to me. I don't know how long that takes. Hopefully it don't take too much longer. This is probably one of the moments where like a more experienced YouTuber might go live, you know, and interact with his audience, and that's something I do eventually plan on getting to, but baby steps until we get there, man. I've said it a million times, I've said it in this video, I'm sure at least once already, but I don't know what I'm doing at all. I'm completely figuring this out as I go. So the going live thing is something I've got to figure out, and I don't know if I've really got enough subscribers yet for that, so I guess it don't matter. I'm doing this more for me than I'm doing it for you, so That sounds incredibly selfish, I'm sure, but I am. I'm doing it more for me than I am for you. Hey, Marley. Marley. See, this dog don't even like to listen. Axl's right on it. Now, oh yeah, now Marley wants in. Now Marley wants in. Just trying to make it complicated. I'm glad we were able to bring him home and give him a home. He's a pain in my ass, but he's a pain in my ass, but I love him. So if any of you repeat viewers, I'd really appreciate in the comments if you let me know if you've gotten any ideas from watching this channel, or if you've gone out and done anything that you don't normally do since you've been watching this channel. If you've been inspired or encouraged in any type of way, let me know down in the comments. I don't know if I've put this in my I don't know if I've made this announcement yet. Yeah, I don't know if I've made this announcement yet, but when I get to 1,000 viewers, I'm going, well, I know I've made this announcement. My goal is to get to 1,000 viewers within a year's time of starting the channel. So that's really by September. At the rate it's going, it seems unattainable, but I'm a believer. I believe that it's 100% attainable. I feel like they'll spike up at some point. But when I do get to 1,000, viewers, I'm going to give away my cast iron skillet. Not the one I just showed you, the one that I normally use. But, and I think I'm going to do that by having people submit. Yeah, Axl's a bully, man. He don't want Marley to get anything.
I'll call you back in a minute, son.
Axl don't want to let Marley get any love. Marley, quit barking.
Yeah, one didn't like the other one barking at me. I was hearing shit.
Yeah, he's non-stop correcting the Axl here is always correcting Marley non-stop.
What you smoking?
A little something from Michigan.
Things from Michigan. It's a whole lot less coughing.
Yeah, for sure.
See you, man.
Yeah, you have a good one.
Nice to meet you, Rich, right?
Yeah, Richie. Take care.
You too.
So, making new friends, y'all. Making new friends. You really never know, but I don't know, I like people. I like meeting new people, talking to them. That's one of my favorite things. You guys have heard me talk about it. It's one of my favorite things about hiking and doing things outdoors. I love running into other people. I mean, there's always those people that you would rather not run into. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, those are very few and far between. Most of the people I encounter, I usually really enjoy talking to and get a lot out of it. Man, I met this one guy. I'd love to find him again. I'm gonna wait till the dog stops barking to tell you this story. Alright, so a couple years ago, and I've probably told this story on the channel before, and I won't get it all exactly right. So the guy that I'm talking about, which I wish I could remember your name, if you ever see this, feel free to make corrections in the comments and holler, man. I'd love to bump into you again and talk to you again, especially if you'd like to, if I could record it, you know, put it on the channel and get it actually out of your mouth and get it right. But anyway, the Axl was the icebreaker with this guy. I'd seen him a couple times on the trail out in Germantown doing that orange trail that is our most common trail. And one day when it was just me and Axl out there, he asked if he could pet Axl, and of course I let him. I'll let anybody pet Axl. Axl loves people. He's an awesome dog. But I let him, and we got to talking, And I'm not sure how we got into the conversation, but like I said, people are usually, I don't have to ask for information, man. People are usually pretty willing to just tell me their whole life story. Like at a gas station the first time I met them. So, this wasn't really strange in my world, but he started talking to me, and he said that I can't remember how many miles it was. I think maybe 4 or 5. But he said that he asked me if I was doing the whole loop, and I said, yeah. And I asked him if he was, and he said no, he couldn't do the whole loop yet. What he did was he always would have his wife drop him off at somewhere and then pick him up like 4 miles, 4 miles into the hike at another trailhead. But he said the reason he's out there, and then he gets into the reason why he's out there doing it. And it turns out that somewhere in his, I think maybe sometime within the last 10 years, this must have happened. He was at work, and he got crushed between 2 forklifts that were backing up. If you've been around forklifts, there's the weights in the back too. So there's big weights on the back, and he got literally crushed between 2 forklifts that were backing up, and they would have backed up into each other, caught him in the middle. All he remembers is stepping off the back of the semi-trailer, he said, and then waking up in the hospital. And when he woke up, man, this fire feels good, y'all. When he woke up, when he started coming to, he started looking around. He seen like he could tell he was in a hospital room. His wife was there, and I think he said it was dark in the room, but his wife was there and some other family members maybe. And he said immediately he thought something happened and he was dying. So the doctor comes in because he's finally awake and tells him, he's like, I've got to tell you what happened. And he tells the doctor, he's like, I'm dying, right? And the doctor said, actually, no, no, you're not. But it's a miracle that you're not, because you were like I just said, he got crushed between 2 forklifts. He was completely crushed. He was just completely crushed. But anyway, he said, but the bad news is, like, you are paralyzed from the neck down. Yeah, you're paralyzed from the neck down. I think the neck down, maybe it was like the sternum down, but I believe the neck down. And he said that, man, he would have rather found out he was dying, But anyway, make a long story short, especially because I don't remember all the details so good, I'm going to keep fumbling it if I try to tell the extended version. To make a long story short, he just was bound and determined not to be paralyzed. He said, I'm not going to do it. Obviously, you know where this story's going, because I told you I ran into him on a hike. But he said he was just bound and determined to not be paralyzed. And it was his thumb, I think he told me. He started just like really focusing on his thumb. And this is like a yoga practice, or like a meditative practice, to help kind of put it into context without telling the whole story. But he started focusing on his thumb and just telling it to move and to move, move. And eventually, I don't remember how much time went past, but eventually it moved. Like, he saw it move. And he yelled for his wife, or maybe he was with the doctor at the hospital, or the doctor at the time or something, but he got someone's attention and told him, and they got him into the doctor. And basically, I think the doctors, they put him back in like the physical therapy, and they just kept working with him until, again, fast forward to just a few years ago, he's up and walking again. And he's doing, that trail out there in Germantown is no easy trail. Like, even the stretch he was doing is pretty taxing when you consider his injuries. But he was showing me, like, his arm, like where they had to go and put rods and stuff in his arms. He was all scarred up. I mean, this guy had really been through it. But anyway, when he finally got back up on his feet and stuff, and he was so thankful. He was thankful to his doctors and stuff for getting him, for healing him. Well, he wants to put like a gift. He wants to take a gift to the surgeon that he'd been working with. So he puts this gift together and he takes it to the surgeon's office, and the surgeon tells him when he goes in to give it to him. I know this is probably making this boring, probably, but the surgeon tells him when he goes in and gives him the gift, he says, "Out of respect, I'll accept this gift." He said, "But you need to know," he said, I didn't do anything that made you walk again. You know, he said, you have someone else to thank for that. And the guy said, like, as soon as that doctor said that to him, it hit him. Like, I don't know if this is like the moment, he just had a God connection moment. It hit him. Like, that's when he realized, like, God did this. God took care of me. Like, it was up until the moment that the doctor said that before it hit him that, like, God did this and that he owed God the thanks. But anyway, which that's the biggest part of the story. I don't want to just brush that aside because that really is the biggest side of the story. But what I'm getting at is, like, the work that he had to put in. See, like, when God does miracles, man, this is just me thinking. I'm not telling anybody anything. This is my belief. But when God does miracles, like, God's capable of doing miracles. You know, as long as those miracles align with his will, because we don't always know what his will would be, and like what we consider to be a miracle might be a hindrance in the grand scheme of things. We don't know, you know, like, we don't know, but God does create miracles. But I do believe also that, like, we have to do the work that we're assigned with those miracles, you know. And that guy was like, I have to keep moving. I can't take my life for granted anymore. I got to tell this story. I got to talk to people. You know, like, he had to get out on that trail and run into me and tell me that story. And it really did something for me that I'll probably never be able to put in simple terms. But you got to do your work. But so he started out having his wife dropping him off, and he was doing like a half a mile, then a mile. And at this point, when I ran into him, he was up to like 4 or 5 miles. And, you know, hopefully by now he's up to like 9 or 10, you know. I haven't run into him for a while. Hopefully I do. I pray that I do, because I'd love to talk to him more. Like I said, if I could, especially now that I'm doing this YouTube channel, if I could talk to him and get his account so it's not just like a butchered, sloppy mess like what I just gave you all. Because what I just gave you guys, it's not even worthy of, like, the story's so profound. But you get the gist of it. Like, this guy was truly healed, man. Like, truly healed. His body was devastated. It was completely crushed, and he's back on his feet walking. But anyway, I think that I started this whole thing off by talking about how much I love running into people and meeting new people and stuff. Typically, it's not with that type of a story, but it's good people like that I run into, you know. Turn that light up. I don't know if it's going to look better or worse or what. I'm experimenting, and I lost the light diffuser that comes on this GoPro lamp. And you would think that that's something they would sell by like the 10-pack on their website, but they don't. I can't look at the camera because it's so bright because I don't have the diffuser. But yeah, you would think they'd sell that by the 10-pack, but they don't even sell replacements for it. And it's not even like a flip up, flip down thing. It's like a rubber piece that slides over top of it. And yeah, I mean, I guarantee everybody who ever buys one of these cameras is going to lose that. You'd think they'd sell those, but whatever. But anyway, so yeah, that guy, that was like a miracle that he had experienced. And I got to hear his story because I got up that Saturday and went out on that trail, even though my laziness was trying to talk me out of it. I met another guy, had an interesting story. This is in one of my videos. I don't remember if I videoed him telling the story or not. I don't think I did. But, because I don't know. I feel awkward filming people. I'm getting more used to it, and asking them. But anyway, this guy had like a Chihuahua with him, and he was carrying it. And what got us talking was Axl again. Axl being the icebreaker. And through conversation, he told me that that Chihuahua was actually his daughter's dog. It was supposed to be his daughter's dog, and it ended up being his. And I'm like, yeah, same here. Axl was actually supposed to be Jalen's, and I don't know, dogs pick who they pick, and I fell in love with him. I tried to deny it for a long time, but I fell in love with him. He ended up being my dog, but he's still Jalen's dog, Jay. He's still your dog too, babe. But anyway, this guy had this Chihuahua. I told you, I don't need to think of stuff to talk about. I'll just talk and talk. But he had this Chihuahua, and he's telling me it was his daughter, supposed to be his. We connected there. But then he started telling me how it ended up being his dog. And what it is I think he was already the one spending the most time with it. But this pit bull got a hold of it. And no, this is not a dig on pit bulls. Pit bulls are sweet, great dogs like Rottweilers are. They get a bad rap. But this did just so happen to be a pit bull. And it got a hold of this Chihuahua. And he said that it ripped him open so bad that like his intestines and like his organs and stuff were hanging out. And his artery and his neck was severed. So everybody was just freaking out. He picked the dog up, like tucked its insides back in and held him and held his hand with like, I think he said with like his thumb and the dog's aorta or whatever that is, that artery, to keep it from bleeding out. And he kept it and he held it and drove from, I think he lived in Brookville, Indiana. He drove all the way to the animal. Y'all just have to Google this to see how far it is. I can just tell you it's pretty far, like an hour probably. He drove from Brookville, Indiana, Brookville Lake, Brookville Lake, Indiana, to Dryden Road Animal Hospital, to the emergency center there, and took it in and saved that dog's life, man. And it's like, wow, like what a thing. I mean, I would never want that. But man, like what a, like you saved, like you held that dog's organs in and kept its artery plugged to keep it alive. Like that's a bond right there. You ain't gonna get much better than that, man. As far as a bond, a stronger bond. Like wow. But yeah, I get to meet people like that all the time and hear their stories, whatever they, even if they seem like mundane. I enjoy just getting to know people, especially like I happen to run into a lot of people who are just getting started and doing this kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, I run into a lot of people that have just like started within the last few years, and that's probably due to the pandemic. It's probably not it's nothing weird. It's probably what happens to a lot of people right now, but it's good because they're up and they're doing it still. And I love getting into conversations with them about the like why they do it and what they find about it, because it's funny because like you realize that it's like the same, it is all the same thing. Like we're all doing this stuff for the same reason. Like we really are. Like any of us who enjoy getting up and getting out and working our bodies through the wilderness and climbing tough hills and through creeks and like wearing ourselves out, sore feet, like it, you know, if you watch videos and stuff, I try to show the reason my videos are as long as they are is because I'm trying to show as much of the real scenario as I possibly can, because I know a lot of videos that people cut out the hard parts. Usually the videos that they post are just kind of them walking by looking like no problem, 17 miles in, walking like I just started, but that's not what it's really like. So I try to show what it's actually like, but people like us, we're doing it all for the same reason as what you find when you talk to these people. They describe it in different ways. They tell different stories, obviously. They lay out different scenarios and different terminology, but at the end of the day, everybody's saying the same thing, and it's really interesting and it's cool because I think that it's in everybody. That doesn't mean everybody is able to do it, but I think that draw, that attachment to nature, that connection is in there waiting to be made for everybody for that same reason. And it's all the stuff you hear. It's all the cliche things that if I sat here and say, it's like, oh yeah, it's what everybody says. And it's like, well, there's a reason everybody says it. Some things, there's a reason things become cliche or whatever, they then get said over and over again. It's because it's true. You know, it's what anybody who doubted or didn't know when they went out and sought their adventure, it's what they found, you know. So they come back and say the same thing, and it gets repetitive probably, and it tends to lose its meaning. But once you get out there and you find it, man, it's life-changing. It changes that, it literally changes everything. It changes everything about you. Actually, change ain't the word I like to use. It leads to an evolution of who you are, is what it does. It draws what was always there closer to the surface, you know, through the meditative practice of just walking through the woods, talking to God, praying. I do a lot of my praying in the woods, a lot of my quiet moments, my meditating. Like, I don't do like the sit and meditate thing, but I have my states of meditation where I'm just floating down the river, or even when I'm walking down the trail. Like, my mind is, I don't want to say it's always still, but it's always just doing its thing. Axl Marley, come here. But yeah, man, we all find the same thing. When you find it, it changes your life. So that's why I encourage people, and why I truly hope that this channel inspires people in some way, just to get up and just do whatever they can. And something that I heard someone say the other day that I want to remember and incorporate is, if all you can do is come along with me, then thank you for coming along with me, and you're more than welcome. That's why I'm doing this. You know, and for a lot of people, that might be the most you can do, is come along with me on my adventures, with me and Axl here, and see what we get into. So thank you for that. But yeah, if I can inspire people in any way, shape, or form to get out there and seek that connection with God and nature, well, with God through nature, yeah, that's what this is all about. Kind of losing my train of thought because this big boy's in my face. He just wants love. He just wants love. And we're gonna go hiking tomorrow, huh, buddy? We're gonna go hiking tomorrow. I'm going on a hike tomorrow that I'm not taking. Well, never mind. All right, y'all. Well, I am for real this time. I'm gonna log off, shut the camera down, and get this stuff taken down, get that fire out, or let it burn out, get that stuff taken down, and probably go in here and call it a night, because I got to get up early in the morning for a hiking trip that I'll try to talk myself out of getting out of bed. Already I know that fight's coming, so I should do my best to not stay up too late and help the opposing team with some ammunition. So yeah, man, I've enjoyed. I love this, guys. I appreciate everybody who's been hanging with me so much. If you're new, if you're not new, I appreciate a thumbs up if you feel like you got something out of this at a minimum. That'd be awesome, just because it helps with the algorithm. I hear people say that, and I believe it, because how do I know? But yeah, man, I'm gonna get in here and get cleaned up, get this stuff cleaned up, and get to bed. And you guys will join me again on tomorrow's adventure, hopefully. So be weird out loud. Love y'all, and we'll catch you tomorrow.